All right, boys, new draft league has started, the Bubble League, hosted by Playmore, man. Shout out to boys at Playmore. We're diving in. I was fortunate enough to be in another good spot in the very last spot. And there's a bit of a story behind this because I initially wanted to get Gouging Fire onto my team for the Toronto Tyrants. I've wanted this mon forever now. That or Garchomp or Roaring Moon keeps avoiding me, but we still got an absolutely busted first round pick in Ogerpon Wellspring with Terrastalize. So not many people are going to be confused as to what I'm Terra. I can literally forget to tell people because, I mean, what else am I going to be? You know what I mean? It can only be water. This thing has absolutely destroyed me in several leagues I faced. I think it's hilariously broken. I was fortunate enough to get this, though it is on the more expensive side compared to other leagues. So my other tier captain can't be anything too crazy. I still think it's a fire pickup. Initially, it was supposed to be Gouging Fire with this, and Callum is 2 spots in front of me. So Gouging Fire almost came to me, but the universe just did not want me to have that right now. So hopefully another league I get him. But for now, we open up with a strong Terra Captain in Ogerpon Wellspring. Extremely privileged, hard-hitting Ivy Cudgel. No contact. High chance to crit. It's really hard to get the Spin F boost. I am not worried about bulky waters. You got a bulky water on your team? Run, bro. I'm chilling. The second pick on the Toronto Tyrants, I went with Cinderace. I wanted some very strong Pokemon to hit really hard, but then also at the same time as well, too, I wanted something that was still fast. You know, like 110 base speed. It's a nice speed stat, but it's in the middle. I want something above the 110, while obviously having some guys below it as well, too, but mainly above. So I want to get my speed a little better, and I got that with Cinderace. I have aggressive hazard control with Court Change. This guy has every priority in the world. You guys know me, I've been trying to draft Cinderace for a while now, and every time I do, either he doesn't show up or I just don't get him. I think in the Uber League I had in the beginning of the year, I had Cinderace, but I dropped him for Sneasler. Now, I don't know about y'all, that is a much better Pokemon than Cinderace, a much better Pokemon. So I had to go with that. But this time around, I went Cinderace. Now, I did have Sneasler initially. That's where some things got a bit wonky. You'll probably see within the draft. But the next pick we went is I wanted to get a solid steel type. I wanted something simple and I wanted something clean, like right now. So I went with Jirachi. You guys know me. I've gotten Jirachi several times now, based on it across the board. This guy is really annoying, okay? He's Jirachi. Everyone's faced it. Serene Grace Ironhead, Serene Grace Psych, but F drops, bro. Serene Grace T-Ball Paras. I got T-Wave. I got pivoting with U-turn. I have Hazards, Stealth Rock. I needed that. I did. And realistically, there weren't a lot of good steel types left. Treads obviously is gone. I'm at the very last point of the wheel, which is both good and sometimes inconvenient. I can still get a good team, but I can't get the absolute best guys until I'm like in the earliest pocket. It comes for a while for me to come back, right? So I still got a good steel type in Jirachi. I've drafted it several times, and this is like my mascot mon of draft. I feel like it's my most drafted mon ever. So love to bring Jirachi home. We got Donphan for the next pick. Donphan, I needed a hazard remover that isn't just Court Change, so we got that. I got him a little early, but for me, you have to understand, because I'm the last wheel pick, I definitely need to get Donphan now, or he goes. Or he goes. Everyone is getting hazard removers on the way back up. So while you could argue I got Donphan a little early and doesn't really warrant the 4th spot, I needed this, and I kind of had to draft what I needed for my team. Plus, I've struggled with the hazards several times, and they're just really annoying. So I got probably one of the best hazard movers allowed in draft. It's really just him, better Donphan in Treads, and better Treads in Great Tusk. Those are like the 3 best. And then if you don't count the family, it's like Duck with Quackwayful. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to get a really good one out the way. Plus, it also still has Stealth Rock. Now, I do wish he still had Toxic. No Toxic is going to be a little annoying, but he has Encore now, which is pretty cool. And his move coverage is really solid. He's like Knockoff and like Throat Chop, Trailblaze, Gunk Shot, right? He's got some cool moves. Play Rough. He's got some cool moves. So definitely not somebody to sleep on. Now, the next pick we're taking up after Donphan. My boy Donphan is Okidogi. Now, here's the thing about Okidogi. Okidogi is a phenomenal Pokemon, genuinely extremely slept on. I thought this guy was pretty crazy when he first came out because of his stat distribution. Everything is in the right areas, right? Just enough speed with 80. 88 HP is really fat. He's got 86 PF, which is enough with 88 HP to actually like live some things. A solid AV user, 115 in defense and 128 in attack. So he has some really good stat distributions, unlike his brother and sister of Monkey Dory and Pheasantipity. We won't even get into Pheasantipity, especially, right? But Monkey Dory is like okay too, right? Just not fast enough. Dogi, on the other hand, gives me a bulky poison type. It's a grounded poison, so I can remove T-Spikes, so I can have to kind of not really worry about that. And most grounded poisons are like defensive, like the Weezings, you know what I mean? Muck, Skuntank, right? They're kind of more the defensive side. So Okidogi being an aggressive grounded poison is really good for me. And I got rid of Sneasler, so I was like, you know, let's get Diet Sneasler and Okidogi. But the thing about Okidogi and the entire clan of the Loyal 3 is if you get Toxic Chain, I'm going to speak about this guy very highly. He's going to be godlike. If I don't get Toxic Chain, well, then I'm not going to be speaking highly of him, and it's not going to be godlike. You feel me? Like, it really goes two ways. So hopefully I can get a Toxic Chain knockoff. Hopefully I can get a Toxic Chain Drain Punch. If I can't, then we're going to have some problems. But Okidogi is still a phenomenal Pokemon. Could be a tank, could be a breaker, it could be a lot of things, really. So I'm excited to have this guy on the team. The next Mon we had to get, and I did not get this Mon with a smile, is Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is a solid dark type. I needed a dark type, obviously, but then I also needed something that's also ground weak. I'm sorry, ground immune, because at this point, I was a little ground weak with Jirachi, Dogi, and Cinderace. It was really just It was really just Wellspring and Donphan. So I really needed kind of somebody to just kind of be immune to it. So we got Mandibuzz, which went better way, right? So that's phenomenal. Didn't have a smile on my face when I got this Mon because it's Mandibuzz. It's extremely passive, but at least it can pivot. And it didn't really lose any moves. It still has Knockoff, Defog, Toxic, like Roost, all of these moves. The problem is Mandibuzz suffers from the exact same thing as Iron Valiant and Chimpow, which you might be thinking, whoa, that's crazy, right? In the sense of moveslot syndrome. I can't fit all of these moves. There has to be compromise. There has to be sacrifice in some things that I have to run. So I can't run that every week. But Mandibuzz is, again, like I said, it's phenomenal. I can wear things down with Toxic. I have strong foul play, so they have to respect the setup. I have pivoting with U-turn. And the thing about it is it's not really slow. It's 80 base speed. So it's not necessarily slow pivoting, but it's also not like turbo fast pivoting. Like, it's not Amomola pivoting, but you know, it's still pivoting. So we make what we can do. And it fits a lot of the roll compression that I need, being a dark type and being immune to ground, so I just had to pick it up. Now, the next Mon is Kyurem on the team. I don't know why this Mon isn't drafted more. I feel like I'm one of the only few people in like Gen 9, at least in the Wi-Fi scene of draft, that is drafting this Mon. I barely see it drafted. I don't necessarily understand why it's not really drafted too much. I mean, yes, it's not that fast. Yes, it's weak to hazards. Yes, it's weak to fairy and fighting. Yes, these are all a fact. But when you are obnoxious to switch into and you're fast enough and you're really tanky, does it matter? Now that's up for your own interpretation if it matters or not. In my opinion, I think it doesn't matter. 95 is fast enough with a Choice Scarf to where I can go crazy. 95 is fast enough to where if I put Choice Specs on him, he outspeeds certain base 80 Mons, base 90 Mons, and just can absolutely wall break. Also, not to mention, he's kind of obnoxious to one-shot. He is. I think if this guy still had Roost, everybody would be drafting him. But because he lost Roost, you can't really, I guess, chill too long with the bulk because a lot of the moves that are super effective against him are pretty common, being fighting and fairy, right? Fighting types are phenomenal right now. Fairy types are also going ham. Everyone's got a Terra Captain Fairy, regardless if they don't got Iron Valiant or an Amorous, you know what I'm saying? But Kyurem is so obnoxious to switch into. The biggest thing of Kyurem is I want to wear and tear walls. If you look at the synergy, everything that switches in on Wellspring, being a bulky grass or bulky water, Kyurem decimates. And the things that switch into Kyurem, being steel types, Wellspring decimates. So their synergy is absolutely incredible, right? It is absolutely insane. Like, we're gonna have a great time with these two. These two are gonna be working hand in hand. They're the ice climbers of the crew, and I'm really excited to use Kyurem. The funny story is supposed to get Baxcalibur on this team, but Bob drafted it, and then he dropped it in Grace. So there was a timeline where I would have had Baxcalibur, and I wanted to use Baxcalibur because I've never had Baxcalibur, but I also need more special breaking. I have Cinderace, I have Dogi, I have Wellspring. At this point, I really only have Rachi for the special, and it's not really a big breaker. It's only 100 across the board. So I needed something that hits really hard on the special side, so I was like, you know what? If it's Blessing in Disguise for the universe, I had to take Kyurem. Now, the next Mon we actually are scooping up is Comfey. Comfey is a Mon that I've used before as well, too. I think this Mon is actually devious. It's in the UU tier in standard ladder play, but it's also, like, really good. Like, the worst thing about it is its HP stat, right? If this thing had a higher HP stat, like, if they just took off, like, 30 points in physical attack stat and put it in HP, so it'd be 81, this thing would be demonic, right? And with Terra, I really wanted it to be a Terra Captain, but I can't fit it. We can only have 30 points for Terra Captain. And Wellspring is 25, which is on the more expensive end. Other leagues usually keep it about like 21. So those extra 4 points really do matter. They really do. So genuinely unfortunate. Some leagues even keep it at 20. But in this one, it's a little bit more expensive, which is unfortunate. So I can't have anything crazy for my second Terra Captain, which we'll get into that later. But Comfey, it's either between Comfey or Florges. Now, being honest, Florges, I'm not going to bring that often. Comfey, I actually can. +3 priority with Triage. A phenomenal ability. The ability is actually hilariously broken. It's just on a Mon that's like Comfey, which is like not a bad Mon at all. But imagine if it was something like Enamorous, you know what I mean? Then it's Jover, right? But still, Comfey is a phenomenal fairy type, right? We have +3 priority and Triage. So I can get Drain Curse Triage. I can get, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Pain Split also works that way. Because you technically do heal. You split. I've never tested that out, but I also think, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Pain Split also works that way, but I've never tested it out. Giga Drain, Draining Kiss, all the recovery moves, right? All the healing moves. So we can do some cool stuff with that. So that's very cool. Very excited about that. This guy also has Screens, he has Leech Seed, he has Tailwind, and Trick Room. So I can also enable some of my guys as well too on my team. So I'm really excited about that. And this guy's some obnoxious moves like Charm. So you never really know what this guy can do. And he's pretty fast. He's got 100 base speed. So it's on the faster end of what you think from a lay, you know, which is what Comfey is based on. So beautiful, beautiful Comfey on this squad. Our next Terra Captain, Raichu. Now I'm gonna be completely blunt when I say this. This one is hot ass. Then why is it on my team? There isn't much left that is better. I mean, he's probably not going to be on the team too long. I mean, it's got 110 base speed, so it's pretty fast. Here's the thing about Raichu. This is the potential man of Draft League. Everybody's drafted it. Everybody's tried Terra Raichu. No one gets any value with it, I swear to God. Anytime someone says it does, it kills one Mon. Like, you're not getting value. Like, while yes, you could argue that is valuable, I want a Terra Captain to do more than just that. And I don't think Raichu has the capacity to do that. It's too frail to set up Nasty Plot. It's not fast enough. When you Choice Scarf it, it's not doing enough damage. Then mention it's just not doing enough damage. The damage is a bit underwhelming, even if it's super effective. So Raichu, he gets all the right coverage, right? It gets all the right setup. The stats are in the right area, right? Of 110 base speed and 90 special attack stat, right? It's just, it's a feather that tickles you. So it's just the ultimate tickle monster, but I'm being honest with you, unless something gets dropped or I find something else that's better on the board, there really isn't anything left. It's a 5-point Terra Captain. And I kind of needed a special attacker. So I really don't know, man, but I guess we'll see if this gets changed or not. I mean, like I said, there's barely anything left on the board that is good. So if I find anything better, we'll see, but for now, Raichu is one of the better picks on the board to just kind of be around. So we'll see what it can do, and hopefully it gets 2 kills. We're aiming for 2 kills. We're being realistic, right? We're aiming for 2 kills. And our final pick, Sableye. Sableye is absolutely incredible in draft. While he does suck in standard ladder play in the ZU tier, he doesn't exist at all. He's been completely power crept and nerfed. Why? He lost Toxic. Also, the playstyle is kind of like cooked on ladder. You just do too much damage now to where somebody like Sableye is going to get boomed. And there's also more fairy types now. Back when he was godlike, there was barely any fairy types. Now there's a lot more fairy types. And better ones at that, looking at Iron Valiant and Amorous, right? All these crazy kids, right? But Sableye is still good. He got Encore, so he can be crazy with that. He can still Will-O-Wisp, he can still T-Wave, he can still do all of the obnoxious stuff, Trick, everything that's annoying what this guy can do, he can still do. Taunt, Screens, all of it. He just lost Toxic, which is a pretty big one, and T-Wave can now also have the chance to miss. You might not be thinking that's too crazy. I'm here to tell you right now, it is. It is. If you play Pokemon enough, you know if it even has a slight chance to miss, you're probably going to experience it. But Sableye is still really good. It's a spin blocker. It's cheap as hell, dude. Right? So I don't really care. I mean, he was 4 points, right? So he's extremely cheap. So I'm not really necessarily phased by him. 4-point Mon is just solid, you know? And again, he's incredible. He can be really annoying and he's really toxic, and I think he can enable some guys to start doing it. I can Encore somebody to set up like a Raging Bolt and then go out into my Kyurem and start Dragon Dancing and Scale Shotting and going absolutely stupid. So respect him. Guys, that's the Toronto Tyrants draft for the Bubble League. Let me know what you think down below. It's the entire team. Leave a like down below, subscribe. The matches go live tomorrow. Usually we do a week later, but the matches go live tomorrow. So you don't want to miss that. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the flip side.